Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nufus with name 140142116. Here I will practice my lesson plan about bilingual teaching and learning. Let's see. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Wow, thanks God. You are in good condition. Is anyone absent today? Why is he not present? Okay, we pray that he can come and join the learning. Before starting today's lesson, it would be better if we pray first. Does anyone to lead the prayer? Okay, please Tifta lead the prayer. Thank you, Tifta. To increase our sense of nationalism, let's sing the song Berkibarlah Benderaku. Come on everyone, let's stand up first. Kibarlah benderaku, tangan suci gagah mulia, Indonesia, kau tetap kejayaan bangsa. Kau berani mengumumkan engkau serentak raih bendera semerah yang gembira dan berlaksana. Okay, thank you. Please sit down again. Student, do you still remember the material of the previous meeting? What did we learn at the previous meeting? Yes, that's right. In previous meeting, we studied the part of planes. Does anyone still remember anything? Yes, that's right. Parts of plane consist of roots, stem, leaves, flower, and fruit. If you look at plants, have you ever thought about how plants find food? Then, is there anything that helps plants get food? Do you still remember the difference between plants and other living creatures in finding their food? Okay. Today, we will learn about photosynthesis. Okay, today we will learn about photosynthesis. The learning objectives that will be achieved in this lesson are: students can identify the needs of plants to carry out the process of photosynthesis and the result of photosynthesis well. Second, students can explain the stage of photosynthesis well. Third, students can perform simulation through virtual laboratory media or virtual kids lab about photosynthesis process. And fourth, students can analyze the impact of photosynthesis process and relate it to the importance of keeping plants on earth basis. Students try to observe, can plants move to find food? Otherwise, where does plant food come from? Then, have you ever seen your parents take care of plants? When caring for plants, they must be watered often so that they do not die, and they also need enough sunlight. Why do you think plants need water and sunlight so much? Every living creature needs food to grow and develop. Are plants also living creatures that need food? Yes, of course. Apart from humans and animals, plants also need food to grow. The process of making food in plants is called photosynthesis. The photosynthesis process required help from several teams. Now, let's learn how the photosynthesis process works. Now, let's look the following video about photosynthesis process. What do you get from the video? Yes, that's right. To carry out photosynthesis plant need carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll. To better understand the photosynthesis process, let's do a simple practicum about the photosynthesis process through a virtual laboratory called Virtual Labs Kit. Let's try. The first step, open the Virtual Lab Kit's website. Then, click Start to enter the lab and discover the world of chemistry together with Dr. Bubbles in Virtual Lab Kits. Don't forget, select English to access the photosynthesis content because if you use another language, the photosynthesis content will not appear.
Hello, my name is Dr. Bubbles. Welcome to my research laboratory. Come on in.
Follow the direction and step given in Virtual Lab.
Wait, before we get started with the experiments, we have to prepare ourselves. Safety and neatness are important in a laboratory. Do you already know what you need if you want to work in a lab? Click on the correct objects.
Now we need to select the laboratory clothes and safety.
You already know the safety rules for the lab. Should I run through them once more? Then click on me again. Or should we get right to the experiments? Then click on the airlock door. Every door leads to a special lab room. On the sign next to the door, you can see which subject is being researched here. You use the arrows to move through the hallway and go into the different laboratories. Feel free to look around. There's a new, exciting research discipline behind each door.
To open the photosynthesis content, we can click the room that have a title, The Green Wonder.
Awesome! This is a really exciting experiment. Don't worry if my voice sounds a little different in this one. I just had a cold.
As Tobias is watering his sunflower, he notices something remarkable. His sunflower always points its head and petals toward the sun, so it moves with the sun throughout the day. But why does it do that? Why does it need the light? This is where the term photosynthesis comes into play. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Let's take a closer look at the word. This complex word comes from the Greek and derives from the words photo and synthesis. Photo means light, and synthesis means putting together. Got it. So now we know that the plant needs light in order to put something together. That could be the energy it needs to survive. But let's take a closer look at what happens in photosynthesis in our experiment. Off to the material cabinet. You're already familiar with the material cabinet. For this experiment, we'll need a large glass container, a beaker, a stand, a lamp, a glass funnel, a splint, and a pipette. Great! Now we have everything we need. Let's get started. But before we can begin, we still have to prepare our lab for this special test and make the room a bit darker. That will enable us to make the photosynthesis in our experiment more easily visible. Use the light switch to dim the light in the lab. Great! Now the lab lighting is perfect for our experiment. For this experiment, I've brought you a water plant from the laboratory garden. We're going to need it because the plant produces a gas in the process of photosynthesis. Here in the air of the lab, however, that process is invisible. Think of a way to make the gas visible. Very good idea. Now, you just have to find a way to move the photosynthesis in which the gas is produced underwater. Good job. The plant continues to produce the gas underwater as well. And thanks to our experiment setup, we can watch it happen. A few tiny bubbles are rising from the plant. Now we want to see what happens if we change the strength of the light. Think of a way that we can control the amount of light. Good job. Now we just have to switch on the light and off we go. What do you think happens now in the glass with the plant? Absolutely right. Switch the lamp on to see what happens. Good job. When you switch the lamp on, the photosynthesis intensifies immediately. You can see that by the tiny bubbles rising. Time to move on. Now we know how a plant reacts to being exposed to light. It produces gas. Now we just have to find out what gas it is. In photosynthesis, there are two gases that play a central role: oxygen and carbon dioxide. In order to find out which gas the plant produces, we'll carry out what is known as the glowing splint test. In other words, we have to bring the gas into contact with a glowing splint and see what happens. The first thing we need to do is to collect and capture the gas that is produced. Think about what objects we could use for that. Well spotted. We can fasten other materials to the arm of the stand in order to capture the gas. Think about what we need to do next. Excellent. If we fasten the glass funnel to the stand, we can capture the gas. But hold on. How do we actually need to position the funnel? Exactly right. If you position the funnel over our plant in this position, you can capture a large amount of gas. The glowing splint test will work great this way. That's looking promising. Now all we need is one small thing to actually collect the gas in the funnel. Exactly right. Now we just have to get the plant to start producing gas. Good job. Now we just have to switch on the light and off we go. Great! Our setup is finished and now we can guide the gas that is produced into the funnel. It will take a few minutes though. And we're done. The gas has collected in the funnel. Now we'll place the funnel back in the glass. That will put the gas under pressure. That, in turn, is the perfect prerequisite for the next step, the glowing splint test. But we'll need a bit more light for that. I've turned on the Bunsen burner for the glowing splint test. Use it to ignite the splint. Excellent. Now, quickly blow it out and presto, we've created our glowing splint for the test. Now place the glowing splint over the funnel to bring it into contact with the gas. Now, we just have to let the gas escape from the funnel. Any ideas on how? Did you see that? After we opened the screw cap in our funnel, the gas escaped. The glowing splints really blazed brightly when exposed to the gas. But why is that? Why does the glowing splint ignite? Correct. The escaping gas is indeed oxygen. It causes the glowing splint to light up. The reason is simple. Fire needs oxygen in order to burn. The more oxygen there is, the brighter the flame will be. Now we've proven that the escaping gas is indeed oxygen. Now you know that plants immediately start producing oxygen as soon as they are exposed to light. But the plant then emits the oxygen into the air, or in our case, into the water. Good for us and good for the environment. But does the plant get something out of it? The oxygen doesn't seem to play a role in the growth of the plant. To grow, the plant needs energy, just like people, incidentally. And it gets the energy from starch. Surprisingly, it's the second product generated by photosynthesis. So let's have a look for the starch. I've brought you a plant that I kept in a dark cabinet for a few days beforehand. I stuck a tiny picture of the sun on one of the leaves. We'll now place this plant under our lamp and give it some light for a little while. Is there starch in there? It did have a total of 12 hours of light after all. Fortunately, we can easily detect starch in the lab. Scientifically speaking, it's a piece of cake. To prove the presence of starch, we use a bit of Lugol's solution which turns blue when exposed to starch. I've prepared a small bottle of it for you. To make the reaction more easily visible, I decolorized the leaf beforehand, so the experiment is ready to go. Aha! Lugol's solution made the starch in the leaf visible. Everywhere where the leaf was exposed to light, starch was produced. Now we see the blue coloring. And where the leaf had the little picture stuck to it, and therefore no starch could be produced, we actually see a little sun now. But now we want to take a very close look at what happened in the plant's leaf. For photosynthesis, the plant needs light and the gas carbon dioxide from the air. Then comes the water from the ground and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a pigment that is responsible for the green color of the leaves. Without chlorophyll, photosynthesis cannot work. The pigment can use the energy from the sunlight for the plant. In the process, carbon dioxide and water combine and are put together to form new substances. Do you remember? Light and putting together equal photosynthesis. Oxygen and glucose are produced in the process. The plant needs the glucose to grow, but the plant can't store the glucose, so it converts it into starch. The oxygen that is so important to us is more of a waste product for the plant, which is why it is emitted into the air. This confirms it. Without light, there is no photosynthesis. Without plants, no oxygen, and without oxygen, no life. Now we know why Paul's sunflower always follows the light. Without light, it can't live. So it grows in step with the course of the sun in order to get as much light as possible. And that solves the riddle of the sunflower. Now we just have to clean up the lab. Do you want to take care of that? Great! Now everything is clean and back in its proper place. Too bad that only works in our virtual lab and not in real life.
After we practice about photosynthesis process, you can to see the points. And we can go to the experts test.
Now you can put your knowledge about photosynthesis to the test. Using Paul's sunflower as an example, you can see here which components a plant needs for photosynthesis to take place. But what kinds of components are they? Drag the terms to the correct place to see whether you're right. Good job. You've correctly assigned all of the terms.
And now our practicum has done. After learning to use virtual applicants, do you understand more about photosynthesis? Wow, great, my student. Before we go to the next activity, let's answer this question. What components help photosynthesis? So, sunlight has helped photosynthesis. Then, water. So, water helps photosynthesis. Why didn't help photosynthesis? Then, carbon dioxide uh, help photosynthesis. And chlorophyll help photosynthesis. Let's this says the four of components that can help photosynthesis. Now here there are photosynthesis process. We can press the number of the side to know that happened in the upper phase. Phase one. Sunlight is absorbed by the leaves. In the leaves, there is chlorophyll and our green leaf substance whose jobs in capture light to start the photosynthesis process. Second, water absorbed by the roots. Water in the soil is absorbed by the roots and distributed throughout the plant's body, including the leaves, to help the photosynthesis process. 3. Carbon dioxide is absorbed by the leaves. Carbon dioxide has a carbon dioxide gas exhaled by humans or caused by motorized vehicle insects in by the leaf to help the photosynthesis process. And fourth, result of photosynthesis process produce food and distribute from the leaf throughout the plant body. Apart from that, the photosynthesis process also produces oxygen. Now, come on, remember the meaning of following notes. Oxygen are the result of photosynthesis process and function as a substance that humans inhale at the time. Next, carbon dioxide gas exhaled by humans or combustion products are used by leaves to help the photosynthesis process. And photosynthesis is the process of plants making food occurs in the leaves and requires the help of sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Okay, next activity, I will divide you into two groups. The first group consists of Putri, Erika, Tirta, and Bella. The second group consists of Nida, Viola, Sama, and Novita. Now, please gather with your respective groups and sit down circle. I will distribute a study sheet to be done in the groups. It's the teaching materials. And it's the worksheet. I will explain a little about how to use the student worksheet. Please pay attention to the first page. Here, you have to write the name of the groups and its member. Then, read the understand today's learning objective as well as instruction for using the student worksheet. Do you understand? Or do you have something to ask? Now, start discuss with your group. of friends to complete the student notes. Your time for discussion is 10 minutes. Then the result of one group discuss will be present in front of the class. Student, your discussion time is over. Is there anything you haven't finished yet? Okay, thank you for completing the student worksheet. Now it's time to present the result of your discussion. The presentation starts from Group 1. Please Group 1, present the result of your discussion. Thank you Group 1 for presenting the result of your group 2. Let's see the answer from Group 1. The process of photosynthesis began with sunlight with each absorbed by chlorophyll. Then, water is absorbed by plants from the soil by the roots. Then, carbon dioxide is absorbed by plants to carry out photosynthesis process, and the result of photosynthesis process are oxygen and glucose. That's it. Very correct answer from Group 1. Give a big round of applause. What about Group 2? Are the answers same or do you have different opinions? Okay, the answer from Group 2 are same. So, let's on the result of the discussion. What did you get? Yes, that's right. The component needs by plants to carry out photosynthesis are water, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, and sunlight. The formula for the photosynthesis is water and carbon dioxide equal glucose and oxygen. If there are no plants, then human and animals will be breathing air, which can have a bad impact on the health. Photosynthesis is important because it produces oxygen for breathing, absorbs carbon dioxide and pollution, and produces the food such as fruits and vegetables. To increase your understanding of the photosynthesis process, let's sing a song, The Photosynthesis Process.
Ayo kita belajar tentang fotosintesis tumbuhan yang memasak makanannya sendiri. Apa saja bahannya, bagaimana prosesnya? Ayo kawan cari jawabannya. Bahan yang dibutuhkan dalam fotosintesis energi matahari, CO2 dan air, klorofil pada daun melengkapi prosesnya. Fotosintesis terjadi pada daun, akar menyerap air dan mineral dalam tanah, disalurkan ke daun, menyerap CO2. Klorofil pada daun melengkapi prosesnya, hasilnya oksigen, gula, dan karbohidrat.
Student, do you understand the material in today's meeting? Is there anything you want to ask? Okay, if you already understand, to measure your level of understanding, I will share individual evaluation question. Please do it as best as possible. This is the evaluation question. Is it finished? If you have finished, please submit it to me. Guys, from the learning we have done, what is the conclusion of today's learning? Yes, that's right. The components needed by plants to carry out photosynthesis are water, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, and sunlight. The photosynthesis process begins with sunlight, which is absorbed by chlorophyll. Then the water is absorbed by the plants from the soil by the roots. Then carbon dioxide is absorbed by plants to carry out the process of photosynthesis, and the result of photosynthesis are oxygen and glucose. Then formula for the photosynthesis process are water and carbon dioxide equal glucose and oxygen. If there are no plants, then humans and animals will breathe dirty air, which can have a bad impact for their health. Photosynthesis is important because it produces oxygen for breathing, absorbs carbon dioxide and pollution, and produce foods such as fruits and vegetables. Thank you, great job, Putri. Guys, how was learning today? Is it fun? What did you like about today's lesson? Do you understand the component of needs by plants for photosynthesis and result of photosynthesis? Thank you to my students who have actively participated in today's learning. You guys are so great. The material for the next meeting is plant breeding. Please prepare for the lesson. Because our time is over, before ending lesson, we pray first. Would anyone like to lead the prayer? Yes, please, Bella. Thank you, Bella. Okay, that's all the learning for today. If there are any mistake, please forgive me. After this, we go straight home and don't stop anywhere. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.